Greetings. It is the 19th, Sunday the 19th of April, and I'm in my yard, and I'm taking a break today because for the past 3 or 4 weeks I've been working on my Strongback for my big boat. So for those of you who don't know what a Strongback is a structure that actually holds the boat while you build it. Boats are complex curves and angles, and so you kind of need something to work from. And typically a Strongback is not that difficult of a frame to build, but mine is a little bit more complex because it is in my yard, which is on level. So mine is more like a shed that in and of itself will suit my boat. It's 16 feet wide, actually 16 feet 3 inches. Gave it a little bit more space. The boat, its largest beam is 16 feet. It is 60 foot long. I'm talking about the Strongback here, the shed. The boat is 54 feet long. So let me show you what we got going on here. All right, so it starts here. Of course, I took posts and I embedded them in the ground 2 feet. They're 12-foot high post, and at 4-foot sections put in these 2x6 joists, and each joist is supported by a beam, which is two 2x6s, and the 2x6s are then braced, and then the 2x6 joist, I've used joist hangers to simplify. And there we go. So for the last couple of weeks we've been working on that, and again, this is just on the weekends and maybe an hour or two after work, but just about done. It's not going to have plywood, you know, on the entire span of it. It's just going to have plywood towards the edges where I'd be walking. And actually I'm going to start off with plywood in the center because that's where we're going to build the keelson, which is the next step. Well, actually the first step of the boat itself. And so I've sourced my material, the same place where I bought my Okumi and Meranti from last year, Chesapeake. The prices have went up a little bit. I found another local plywood distributor, and since now I'll be buying a much larger volume this year. Last year I bought 1 piece of Meranti and 4 pieces of Okume. This time I'm going to be buying about 65 sheets of the BS 1088 British Standard 18 mil or 3/4 inch plywood, which is a significant increase to the volume, so that gives me a lot better pricing. Initially I wasn't going to buy the plywood until I knew I was going to be putting it on the boat, which probably won't be till next year, but at the rate of inflation I think I'm going to buy it this year because I actually have the money, and just to make sure I can acquire the material. And the source for the material for the keelson, which will be Douglas fir, found that, which is again at the same place I've purchased from last year, which is come on now, anyway, I forget the name of the place. What is the name of this place? Anyway, it's on a previous video, so hopefully you've seen that. Free State Timbers in Timonium, Maryland. It's a specialty lumber store, so I've sourced it there. The prices went up a little bit. Last year Doug fir, a 1x10 was $4.08 a foot. This year it's $4.80 a linear foot, so it's gone up. So like I said, I think I'm going to hedge against inflation and go ahead and buy it. But the Doug fir is definitely going to be used this year. It's the first thing I'm going to do. Let's see, this week I'm going to focus on creating a scarf jig, which is a jig that I'll be able to scarf together 1x12 material to make the keelson. The keelson will be on an average 3 inches thick, 3 inches by 9 1/4, which is what a 1x10 is, or rather the 10-inch nominal dimension is. But in some places it'll be as thick as 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches thick in some areas, like around where the actual keel comes down, where the lead's going to be. That's going to be a lot thicker to support the actual keel. And towards the aft, where the prop shaft will go through, I'm going to beef that up as well. And of course, right at the transom will be beefed up, more than 3 inches. So that is an update. We are working and we are getting ready for the big boat build. So these videos may be more or less infrequent. I don't know how this is going to go. To build this boat, I'm going to have to work after hours, weekends, and so focusing more on construction than actually videotaping the process of it. I will try as best I can to videotape the scarfing techniques, because that's very important for any of you who may be wanting to learn how to build a boat. Scarfing is a very important piece in that. It's basically making your wood longer. And the keelson is 54 feet long. So a 54-foot long piece of wood does not exist other than a tree, but not in good dimensional lumber. So anyway, to create that, that's going to be, if I can get 16s, that's going to be at least 3 scarves per piece. And if you're talking about 1x material, it's 3/4 of an inch thick. So to get the 3-inch dimension, that's 4 pieces. And to get some of the other dimensions, it's a lot of laminating a beam, so there'll be lots of epoxy work. So it's going to be a real exciting May and June around here. I still have to put the roof on this thing. That presents quite a challenge because it's quite high off the ground, and I don't want to have to build scaffold to put the roof on, but I've got to get some type of cover on this thing. It was perfect weather yesterday, just to be outside. It was 80 degrees, relatively low humidity, but it was sunny. And Lord, the sun just baked and baked and baked on me yesterday, and it really wears you out. So I've got to get the poly on the top so that I can work out here in the shade and not roast. So that's the update from the yard, from Boat Project 2015. And so, as always, until next time, peace and blessings.